My wife's going to be so embarrassed. Hi, everyone. My name's John Lee. I've been attending Church of Southland since October 15th of last year. And before I tell you about my experience at Encounter, oh my gosh, I'm less nervous now. I feel better than first service. I want to tell you about something I told my cell group a few months back. So a few months back in cell group, I told my brothers that this church shouldn't be anything special. Now, before everyone judges me, that's not what I meant. That's not special. Now, I do appreciate this church, and let me assure you that, this church has been very special and life-changing for me. I mean, this really happened. Who else would text their pastor right after a colonoscopy to tell him how great he is? I don't know if you ever had a colonoscopy before, but it seriously is like you're under happy truth serum. And if you're under 45 and you haven't had one, trust me, I liked it. It's the best sleep of my life. My wife can confirm this because she was right there in the car with me. The first thing I did after was text Pastor Richard, and he can confirm this because he's the one that got it, to tell him how much I appreciate him. So no one can judge me here. I'm probably the only person in this room that can say that they texted their pastor right after a colonoscopy. So you can see how special this church is for me. Now, what I really meant by this was that all churches should honor God and glorify God, and that all churches should be special. But I have never experienced a church quite like Southland. So Charles Kang, actually this is my third time confessing how special Southland is. So I hope, so my brothers in my cell group can't make fun of me anymore. So for the past 10 years, I've been praying for a community of brothers with whom I could share my most intimate moments with, where I could be vulnerable and where I could truly grow together in faith with these men. And as you know, men have a hard time sharing, hard time confessing, and hard time being vulnerable. Encounter felt like a confirmation from God, a clear answer to this long-standing prayer of mine. Through Encounter, God showed me his faithfulness, providing a community where I found openness and brothers willing to laugh, cry, and dive into deeper matters together in a large group setting. At Encounter, I experienced God's answer to my prayer in some really powerful ways. First was vulnerability. I really want to thank the speakers for their vulnerability. They shared deeply personal parts of their past, including real struggles and sins. It was eye-opening to see that there are brothers just as sinful as me, some even more. Seeing these men share so openly was incredible. Showing me that there's a place for brothers to be real, to be genuine with each other. I really wish my Anna wife could have heard this so she would think I was a saint. Second, another answer to my prayer was about confessing our sins. I've always known that God calls us to confess our sins, that it's a command, that restoration and healing starts with confession, but there was always a feeling of fear and judgment that caused me to keep those things to myself. At Encounter, though, confessing our sins felt so much easier. I could say, this is my sin, or I need healing from this, with sincerity and ease I'd never experienced before in a large group. God revealed to me that this type of community was not just in my imagination, but that it really does live in Southland. Again, very special to me. Finally, God answered my prayer by showing me that real men actually do cry. Every Sunday, I usually see or hear people cry, my wife the most. And to be honest, it's often the women, right? And Sam Chu when he gives announcements. The other men, he's my cell group leader, so it's okay to say that. But at Encounter, I witnessed something entirely different. A room full of men, not just shedding a tear, but just really weeping and sobbing. It was a genuine expression of faith in men, and I've never seen anything like it. There's nothing that could show me more clearly the depth of intimacy and vulnerability among these brothers than that. Women of Southland, Chino, I love your husbands. I really mean that. And for the single women, I love your future husbands in this room. And I didn't say this in first service, but I really like Chris, so I approve. Chris, the keyboard guy. In conclusion, Encounter showed me just how incredibly faithful God is to me. My encounter wasn't just an emotional experience. It was truly experiencing God's faithfulness in answering a prayer I've been holding on to for so long. God has provided a community, a family, where vulnerability, intimacy, and healing are genuinely possible, and I'm so thankful to God for that. Thank you so much.